keep spinning. You're not going to get this off unless you spin it. All you're going to do is cross thread it, and you're going to ruin this thing.
It has to catch on its own.
Yeah, it has to catch on its own. If you do it, if they try to do it and they keep trying to do it on their own, because they're going to try to do it on their own. Bless you. You have to remind them that you have to flick it. It's not going to work. And there's some people that are just difficult to work with, but that's just life. Same thing. Thumb on joint 3, and then try to get it just to flick.
What's that called?
This?
What's that called?
Which one? What I'm holding?
Yeah.
Rabbit ears. That's what we call it. So, just like that again, and make sure joint 3 goes to this one, joint 1 goes to this one. These are a little different in size. So if you put joint 3 on joint 1, it's not going to tighten. We've had that happen. So joint 1 has to be on joint 1. These are interchangeable. The wing nuts are interchangeable, but the joints are not. So once you have those, go back to joint 1. Again, never force anything on these. These will go in easily, but if you force it, you're gonna just give yourself a headache. So you want this in pointing down when you go in, and it's just gonna pop right in easily. It's in, out, pops right in. Don't let them force it; they'll ruin it. You spin it 180. There's marks on here that you'll look at, but don't let them do the marks just yet. You want the curved end of the joint to come up and under against the disc. You'll see it like this a lot. They'll put it like that. It's not going to tighten that way. It has to come up with the curved part towards the disc.
So it'll curve like with
the disc, yeah. And then you can have them put it on. And you want that end down, tapered end. This part they can try to do on their own, and then just relatively tight. I prefer to lock in the joints at 0 at the end. I want them to get everything on first, and I'll tell you what I mean once we get it that way. So this part goes in to joint 2. Now here that's threaded. So what you have to do is you put it in until it stops, and you got to twist until it drops. I don't
call it the spyglass.
So then it'll come in, and you can do whatever. So again, don't worry about locking in the joints yet. So rabbit ears. Now the way to get this in is you got to come this way, and it's just straight up, one big line. Rabbit ears facing that way. And once it's in, again, don't force it.
Spears going on the rabbit ears.
Yeah. You spin it that way to lock it, or this way to lock it in. Now, it also depends on which way you have. You can't lock it this way. The rabbit ears have to be facing this. So this is the only way that you'll be able to do a biopsy with the Vario Guide. It has to be this way. So depending on whether it's a left or right-sided biopsy will depend on which way you put these rabbit ears. And we'll go over that once we place it up there. Because you can easily adjust this from a left to a right. If you had them set it up and you accidentally set it up backwards, really easy fix. So, again, joint 3 through. You want the curved part against the curve. And then that part goes right in. And once you guys are training, you guys are, when they're doing the cranny or the spine, or we've got downtime, you're going to be putting this together a lot.
Are there any disposables that go with this?
Yes, I will show you. So now once you have this softly on, you'll see some marks. Of course, this one is not etched. All right. Well, so you see the mark on the disc. See that line?
Uh-huh.
I know you've seen it, Rita. There's usually a corresponding one on this one. I do not know why it's not there. But what ends up happening is this is a straight line. So you have them match up that line, and then you tighten. So it can't move. Joint 2, there's 2 lines. There's this line, and then there's this line. So you need the bottom of this to match up, just like that. This line right here matches the base of that
Oh, okay, and then
Okay.
okay.
And then there's a line in the middle
Yeah.
that matches that one. So now right there, that's perfectly centered. Maybe not perfectly, but it's centered. So you want this line matching here, so it's not even perfect. And then the bottom matching there.
Okay.
So that's zeroed in right now. And then they tighten joint 2. And all you're doing is you're putting this in a position that the computer knows, okay, it's going to be in perfect alignment this way, and then it's going to adjust and tell you how to manipulate this to get the trajectory that you want for the biopsy or whatever you're going to use it for. So tighten, and again with the rabbit ears. Okay, this one has an etching again right there. You can faintly see it on the Vario guide itself, opposed to the rabbit ears.
Yeah.
You can faintly see it right there.
Okay. Yeah.
Once it's there, tighten, and now you're set up. Now, this would typically be a right-sided biopsy. So the patient's head, then the Mayfield, you want this to come up this way, like that. Okay, you couldn't, there's no way, because you want the camera at the foot of the bed for cranies. There's no way you could have it like this.
Because the camera's over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, you have to have the camera back here.
Yeah.
Doctor's shoulders block. Something's gonna block it this way, so it has to be like this.
What's the, we said it's easy to switch to left.
So now, let's say